Let me introduce you all to the new and improved couch set. Let's take a little tour here. Look at the couch now. Look at it. It's got all new features. We got a footrest. Just watch. Whoa, look at that. Isn't that amazing, folks? Isn't that amazing? We also got some backup couches in case something goes wrong. Got this one right here. We also got ourselves a little seat here in case of anything going wrong. And we got backup now. Isn't it wonderful? My hair is sticking up, but, well, some things never change. So, I have to be careful what I say here. Because not only could I get in personal trouble, I could also get into legal trouble as well. But screw it, we break the law all the time on this show. I've used music that doesn't belong to me. I put people on video that didn't ask to be put on video. I have stolen toys from an amusement park. This is thug life on the couch. We don't care. But, at least in order to be respectful, I will not name these businesses for the most part. And I will keep the criticism at the beginning and not say which jobs that I'm criticizing. So, yeah, let's start off with the criticisms. First up, I have a bit of an ego. And when I go to a job, I'm trying to think to myself, I know how to do everything. And I don't really. I don't know anything. And you have to listen to the person that's been there longer. Now, it's not always easy to do this. Believe me, this took me a long time to learn, and I'm only beginning to learn it, but I am trying. And that's where one of my big problems with the job is, because not only is this my problem, this is a problem with a lot of people I've noticed entering the workforce, where they won't do what someone who's been there longer says. Like, I've been there, say, 6 or 4 or 5 years, and they're acting like they know everything and that I'm basically supposed to follow their orders. And that's just very disrespectful. And if I could give you all a suggestion, it's that you should listen to the person that's been there more. And I strongly believe this. I know it's hard. And maybe you can just go ahead and just disobey them when they're not watching, but you gotta show them respect. That would be my suggestion. The next thing I'd like to say, just very brief, working late. It's nice when I can work late. Sometimes I have to go off to somewhere else. So, I'm sorry if I can't stay late at a job, but sometimes you do make plans. I do try to stay late when I can. And the next thing is just not always understanding your job, not always understanding the work, especially when you're first there. I don't mind failing. I like to learn. I'm trying to just follow orders, and I don't expect everything to be perfect. I know that's odd in this day and age. Barney Fife would not be liked very well if he lived in modern society. But I don't mind failure. I don't hate it as much as I probably should. I try not to fail, but, it's reality. You're going to make mistakes. Now, moving on to my jobs. The first job that I ever had was working with my dad as a carpenter. And you would think 15 years I would have learned something. And the truth is, I do not. I know nothing about carpentry. My dad would be like, hey, get this tool, and I'd be like, is it this? No, that's the hammer. Go back and get something else. And I'd be like, that's a screwdriver, Seth. Go get the stencil strofloflof. I'd be like, what the heck is the stencil strofloflof? He's like, I've already mentioned to you what it is. And another thing, the only actual things I was able to end up doing was holding a flashlight and sweeping. That was the extent to what I was able to do. So, yeah, I never really learned how to be a carpenter. And I moved into the next job, which was a cook at a local fast food restaurant. Not going to say what the name is, but it was hell. It was hell working there. The people were nice, and I was just very bad at cooking. I still don't know how to cook. Then we move on into my next job, which was at an animal shelter. And there's a lot of poop. Poop was a big part of that job. I just couldn't take the crap anymore at some point. But really, what ended up happening was, at that time, I was working at the Fireside Tales, which is a job I want to talk about a little later on, even though I worked at it a little bit earlier than I'm letting on. But the thing was, I was bringing in these talking animals because there's this big business going on. There's a fear that some people had been captured, and they were coming in, and this nonsense was coming in, and the people there were like, "Oh no, we can't take this anymore, Seth. Maybe it'd be best if you just leave." And I was like, "You know what? You're right. I'm gonna go ahead and quit. There's just there's this nonsense isn't for everyone. That's the thing. That's the first thing you learn about nonsense." And they couldn't take it, and I don't blame them. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on at that time. So I moved into my next job, which was at an amusement park. I'm not going to say the name, but one thing I really liked about it was there was free donuts. That was awesome. I will admit I don't really eat donuts too much because here's the thing for me. If I go in to a store and just buy donuts, I feel like I'm just basically telling the cashier, I want to die of a heart attack at 30. I just want to get fat. That's why I have these donuts. I almost have to have someone bring in donuts for me. I have to be offered the donut. I'm not just going to go out and buy them. I just feel too disgusted in myself. I just feel too much like a slob. I just feel sad with a box of donuts and a lone man just there like eating 16, 17, heart attack coming soon. But, yeah. Love donuts, though. They're great. No complaint. I also got free toys. Or stole free toys. But, I mean, come on. It's a sticky hand. Who can resist the sticky hand? Don't sell sticky hands if you're not... most of those toys that I used in that video were just ones that I found and kept, like, lying out. Probably not a good idea, but I don't care. I washed them off and everything. So I didn't actually steal them. That was just a joke. I also worked a job at a cardboard hitting factory. And what we do is we'd hit cardboard with a hammer. And what ended up happening there was that somebody was trying to kill me. I found people were trying to drop anvils and stuff on me. And I don't know to this day who it was. But I was like, I'm going to pretend to be really bad at this job in order to get away from here. Because I didn't want to just quit. Because then I would be letting on to them that I knew that that I was on to them. So I was like, I'll quit instead. And so that's what I ended up doing. I faked being bad at the job so I wouldn't be killed. But that's stuff that happens to me. And yeah, now wait, there is one more job that I do. Hold on a second. What is it? Okay, yeah, I'm a substitute teacher. I have to be careful what I say here because I don't want to get into any trouble. Because I'm very confused at the legal laws. But allow me to at least say that substitute teaching is, next to the Fireside Tales, the best job that I've ever had. I love working with kids. The only possible criticism, very small, is that I don't always know whether or not I'm supposed to discipline the kids. Some jobs say, like, you need to yell at them. You need to get them to behave. And other jobs are like, don't yell at them. We don't want those legal problems. So I'm always confused about that. That's it, though. That's it. I hope that I won't get into trouble with that job from doing this. What you have to understand is this is no different from a play, in my opinion. I go do a play at our town theater that might have drugs or a few cuss words, a few small cuss words in it. And if you go see it, well, I expect you to be with an adult. And that's what I expect on this channel. If you're watching this and you're underage, you should have an adult with you. And we don't really say anything that bad on this channel anyways. We don't do anything bad. We're not like doing drugs or anything. But please have an adult with you if you're watching this channel. You never know. I try to give warnings at this point, trying to warn my audience, but just be careful. Now we move in to the big one, the Fireside Tales. My dad knew a few workers at the Fireside Tales a long time ago, and he was the one that brought one of the agents in, and the agent came in and he talked to us, And Corey wasn't interested at all. Like I've always said, nonsense is not for everyone. And she just couldn't get into it. And I don't blame her. So many people are like this. Uh, she ended up saying no. Gorman was a little bit more interested, but I think his problem was that he wanted to concentrate on working on his music and being a bum. He wanted to be one of the greatest bums to ever live. So he said no. I decided I'd do it just for a little time as part-time work. And it can be really cool. You get to meet like things like talking animals and dragons and stuff like that. So that's cool. I mean, it's really a cool job. But those are all the places that I've worked. I don't mind working. I don't really want to work. I mean, if I had the option, I probably wouldn't, but it's okay, you got to make a living. And I guess in the end, at least sometimes you get to rest. You get to do things like this. Maybe one day I could do this for a living. Let's hope. And in order to do that, I will have to think about it a little. Just maybe take a nap. I'm going to take a nap now. You know what? Let's bring in Pew. Pew, Ian, you're going to take a nap. Good night, everybody. Look at Pew's belly. He's so sexy. Good night, everybody. Gonna hold my little Pooh Bear. Well, you're being very good. Come up. You don't want to get out at all, do you?